Hey guys! Welcome to a brand new today's video. And in this new today's video, it's going to be a brand new video, part of my video series on breaking up the two-party duopoly. Breaking it up, as I just said earlier. And you all may be asking me, the young centrist, why are you promoting a Democratic candidate running for mayor of New York City? Why are you promoting him? Why? Why are you promoting him? Isn't this series supposed to be about promoting third-party and independent candidates as it's all about promoting third parties in other candidates that are running not with a D or an R next to their name? Why are you promoting Zohran Mamdani mayoral campaign? Well, my friends, I came to a realization that in order to build a thriving multi-party democracy, we need structural change. We need to work both inside and outside of the two-party system. That is how we can create more alternatives to actually form. On top of that, let's come to the realization that we kind of have some type of multi-party system within the two-party systems. For instance, in the Democratic Party, you have the progressive Democrats. Then you have these moderate centrist Democrats. You have blue dog Democrats also. And as for the Republican Party, you have the traditional Republicans. Then you have the America First Republican Party. You also have libertarian Republicans such as Rand Paul and his father Ron Paul. And then you have liberal Republicans like Charlie Baker, Larry Hogan, and Phil Scott. So you kind of have some type of multi-party system within the two-party system in the United States. But the reason why they are forced to stay together is in part because of the very structure of how we elect our politicians through winner-take-all, first-past-the-post voting systems, and also how the House of Representatives is also too small for one. Let's uncap the House, people. And on top of that, it's also how we also elect the President of the United States, how we also elect the head of government through the Electoral College as well, which prevent newer parties in actually gaining traction. So I have come to the realization that Democrats and Republicans, they're not evil. No one is evil. We're just all human. And same as third parties and independent candidates. In order to create a more vibrant democracy and creating a more prosperous multi-party democracy where we can have many options so that voters can truly vote for the candidate that better aligns with their values, I decided I'm going to open up Breaking Up the Two-Party Duopoly series where I'll be including Democratic and Republican candidates for the first time. Because I believe the only way we can create a more prosperous democracy is if we promote all candidates' viewpoints, not just third parties and independent candidates. We have to promote all viewpoints and ensure that every candidate that's running for office all across this country is being heard for the first time. And that is why for this first video where I will be promoting Zohran Mamdani, this video is just that. Getting the ball rolling and also recognizing that there are some goods with Democrats and Republicans. There is ways where we can create a multi-party system by working inside and outside of the two-party system. And not to mention, Zohran Mamdani also won the Working Families Party's nomination. So he got nominated by the Democratic Party on June 24th, and the ranked choice voting result was, I could be wrong, July 1st or something. And where he defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo by a very considerable margin, actually. But it goes to show that he has the endorsement of two parties, the Democratic Party and the Working Families Party of New York City as well. So there is that multi-party element within New York City's mayoral race and New York City's elections because of the use of fusion voting, which allows political parties to cross-nominate the same candidate and fuse alliances with other parties in building coalitions. So this is what I'm talking about. If we want to create a multi-party system, we can't just promote just third parties and independent candidates. We also have to recognize Democratic and Republican candidates as well. It's because it's all about working inside and outside of the two-party system. So let's begin in promoting Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani is running for mayor of New York City for the 2025 New York City mayoral election. And as I just said earlier, on June 24th, he defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo in the Democratic primary. Brad, he defeated other candidates and on July 1st, I could be wrong about this actually. He won the ranked choice voting result with garnering over 56.4% of the primary vote in the Democratic mayoral primary election. But the thing is, though, Andrew Cuomo is still running for mayor of New York City. He's also running against Curtis Sliwa. He's also Eric Adams, the current mayor of New York City. He's also running in the general election as an independent candidate as well. And then you have other candidates, the Conservative Party candidate, Irene Estrada. I could be pronouncing that wrong. And then you have several other independent candidates. You have a quality of life candidate. And then you also have another candidate, James Walden, as well. So there are other candidates, but this video is not about them for now at least. This video is going to be about promoting Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani's run for mayor of New York City. And I will leave the link to Zohran Mamdani's campaign website and also Ballotpedia as well as links so that you can check out the other candidates as well. Also, because you can also view other links as well by looking at the other candidates and actually clicking on their names, and you'll see some campaign website there. It'll give you a link to their campaign website and checking them out as candidates. So let's begin in talking about Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani is running for mayor to lower the cost of living for working class New Yorkers. His overall campaign message is that this campaign is for every person who believes in the dignity of their neighbors, and that the government's job is to actually make our lives better. He ultimately believes that New York City's government should be a government that works for every single New Yorker, in ensuring that they can all get by and live better lives. That is why Zohran Mamdani is running. So let's learn a little bit about him as a person. Meet Zohran. Zohran Kwame Mamdani is a New York State Assembly member and Democratic Socialist running for mayor. Born in Uganda and raised in New York City, he has fought for the working class in and outside the legislature, hunger striking alongside taxi drivers to achieve more than $450 million in transformative debt relief, winning over $100 million in the state budget for increased subway service, and a successful fare-free bus pilot, and organizing New Yorkers to defeat a proposed dirty power plant. The cost of living is crushing working people, but Zohran believes that government can lower the cost and make life easier in our city. He'll use every tool available to bring down the rent, create world-class public transit, and make it easier to raise a family. This is why Zohran Mamdani is running. He is running to be the voice of working people, to fight for them, to ensure that government will lower the cost to actually live here and also make life easier for every single New Yorker in the city. That's why he's running. And that's who he is as a person. A person who was born in Uganda and was raised in New York City, that has fought for the working class in and outside the legislature. And on top of that, he was a former New York State Assembly member, and he's also a Democratic Socialist as well. So let's actually talk about let's talk about some of his policies. So on housing, for instance, I'm not going to go into everything of his policies. I will only share what he wants to do with what he wants to do on addressing the unaffordability crisis in New York City, and how he plans to lower the cost and make life easier for every single New Yorker. So on the topic of housing, for instance, freeze the rent. A majority of New Yorkers are tenants, and more than 2 million of them live in rent-stabilized apartments. These homes should be the bedrock of economic security for the city's working class. Instead, Eric Adams has taken every opportunity to squeeze tenants with his hand-picked appointees to the rent guidelines board, jacking up rents on stabilized apartments by 9%, and counting the most since a Republican ran City Hall. As mayor, Zohran will immediately freeze the rent for all stabilized tenants and use every available resource to build housing New Yorkers need and bring down the rent. The number one reason working families are leaving our city is the housing crisis. The mayor has the power to change that. And let's go into one more on housing. Building affordable housing. We need a lot more affordable housing, but for decades, New York City has relied almost entirely on changing the zoning code to entice private development, with results that can fall short of the big promises. And the housing that does get built is often out of reach for the working class who need it the most. As mayor, Zohran will put our public dollars to work and triple the city's production of permanently affordable, union-built, rent-stabilized homes, constructing 200,000 new units over the next 10 years. Any 100% affordable development gets fast-tracked, no more pointless delays, and Zohran will fully staff our city's housing agencies so we can actually get the work done. Let's go into one more area. Let's go into one more area. On healthcare, for instance, 12% of New York City residents are uninsured. To expand access to healthcare, Zohran will create a new corps of outreach workers to support New Yorkers navigating the healthcare system. Those workers will support patients in understanding the public resources available to them, how to find insurance, apply to programs, access financial assistance, and claim their health benefits. As Trump attacks public health, particularly reproductive health, Zohran will also guarantee that these outreach workers connect every New Yorker in need of reproductive care to affordable quality support. Moreover, New York's public hospital system serves over 1 million unique patients a year and is the crown jewel of our public health infrastructure. But it faces significant funding gaps, leading to underinvestment, understaffing, and overburdened caregivers. Meanwhile, we keep closing our critical hospitals. Zohran will work with our healthcare unions and city and state partners to increase funding for H+H and end hospital closures. He will also protect NYC for future public health emergencies, including guarding against shortages of PPE, ensuring adequate surge capacity and healthcare worker safety, maintaining programs like Test and Trace to stay on top of trends, and more. As mayor, Zohran will reject Medicare Advance and reject higher copays for in-service workers. Instead, he'll partner with workers and their unions to take on the fragmented for-profit healthcare system and lower costs for everyone. And that's some of his policies as a person. And not to mention, he does support and also investing in public transportation and fast fare-free buses as well. And all of these policies, from housing to healthcare and also transportation, is all designed to build a New York City that works for you, that's more affordable for you, and also that in which your life is much more easier in getting by and supporting your basic institutions, supporting yourself, and supporting your families. And that's why Zohran is running. He is running to be your voice as the next mayor of New York City. And if you're interested in supporting this campaign, like I said earlier, I will leave his campaign website in the description of this video below. And I will also leave Ballotpedia's link to the New York City's mayoral election also in the description below, so you can check out the other candidates as well. If you don't want to support Zohran Mamdani, that's fine. It's okay. It's okay not to, because he may not be your candidate. And that's fine. But if you do, consider volunteering. Consider checking him out on his campaign website, volunteering, and donating to his campaign. And to ultimately to get others to vote for him, and also yourself to vote for him on let me see, on November 4th of 2025, which would be the general election date, November 4th of 2025. So don't forget to vote, New Yorkers. But all in all, he's a great candidate, and all the other candidates that are running for mayor of New York City, they're all great candidates. They're all different. And it's time that we also open our eyes and look at other candidates' options as well. And just looking at them. Because as I said before in older videos, we can all be agents of change that can together reimagine America and all of our states for generations to come. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below who you're supporting for the New York City mayor race. Are you supporting Zohran? And are you volunteering for his campaign? Or are you supporting another mayoral candidate like Eric Adams, Curtis Sewa, or Andrew Cuomo, or Irene Estrada, the Conservative Party candidate for mayor of New York City? Consider comment them down and comment them down in the comment section of this video. But please be civil and respectful to those that support another candidate, because we are all Americans at the end of the day, and we all want a more prosperous, affordable, and secure and safe country for all. So let's get to work and reimagine a more inclusive world for all.